So the first thing that I wanted us to talk about is how I got into raising my vibration and really getting intact with my intuition. Um, there are things that I stopped doing, which I was doing. There are places that I stopped going to, which was places that I used to go to a lot or spend time at a lot. I stopped being, rather, I grew out, I outgrew a lot of things in my life, including friends, you know. I isolated. That was the first major step in my life. That actually was the peak of, hey, Balisa, you are actually beginning to chase or to go after your higher self. So I started not having friends anymore, not being interested in that life of having friends around or going and chilling with friends or going out at night. The nightlife fell off so effortlessly. You know, I just, for me, it started as uh, a mini depression moment in my life because I had no choice but to isolate. I had no choice but to sit at home and nurse, my inner feelings. So yeah, it then graduated to me finding the relationship with self so pleasing. It was so fulfilling. I would have conversations with myself. I would speak to myself. I would actually, enjoy my own company. I would learn new things about myself that I didn't know that I were a part of my personality or characteristics. I learned a lot about myself. I even learned how certain traumas played out to be a driving factor to my decision making, which was unhealthy. And most of the time, I was the reason why I was getting hurt by a lot of things in my life. So I isolated, started speaking to myself, having those crazy moments where you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself, you have conversations with yourself, and you be like, okay, but I'm really starting to enjoy this crazy person I'm becoming. I'm really starting to enjoy the conversations I'm having with myself because I'm learning a lot about myself. And it got to a point where now shadow work also kicked in. And isolation is not, some isolation is a long term and another one can be short term. It depends. It depends on the work that you have to do on yourself. It also depends on how hurt or how traumatic you are as an individual. So I started, you know, being isolated and then having a break, those breaks in between of now going outside in the outer world because your past self keeps on calling, it keeps on dialing your number. And if you answer, obviously you haven't done much work on yourself. That's why you keep on answering the call, the call from your lower vibrational self. So I would have isolation moments and then go out of isolation, but somehow, some way, I would still be going back to the things that are unhealthy, which I've now am going back to these things deliberately and knowingly because I know that they're not good for me, right? I'm woke to that extent that I need to be in a still area because I still need to do work on myself. I still need to do some shadow work. I still need to train my intuition, right? To speak louder than fear, speak louder than doubt, speak louder than any other outer voice.